What's up, everybody? This is Jason, and you're listening to another special announcement episode of the Unsung Podcast. I have a new audiobook out. This one is actually not a novel, it's a short story anthology. It was edited and curated by Frank Theodot and Zach Grafman, and it features 8 short stories of the Old West by 8 different authors. 6 of those authors are currently working authors, and you should recognize at least 2 of them if you've been listening to my show. The stories are called To Kill a Banshee by Frank Kidd, The Weight of a Star by Blake Babechko, Texas Ranger Wes Crowley and the Bank Robber by Harvey Stanbro, Howl by London Baker, Greater Love Hath No Man by Brady Putsky, and Just in Time for Nothing by Gaius Warner. The last 2 authors are classic authors of the early 20th century golden era of pulp fiction, and Frank and Zach have been able to publish their stories posthumously. They are A Notched Gun by Walt Coburn and The Loner by Roy Norton. As per usual, here's the back of the book synopsis. Quote, The Boys' Book of Western Stories brings together the best of the pulp West, hard-riding heroes, outlaw showdowns, and wide-open country where courage is the only currency that matters. Mixing classic tales from the golden age of American adventure fiction with fresh new voices, this collection was curated for boys ages 10 to 16 who are ready for stories with real grit. End quote. Now, I have to say, although this book is marketed as being for boys aged 10 to 16, these stories should all be more than appealing to adult men, too. It turns out that the modern mainstream publishing industry has mostly just gayified the young adult genre, but the stories in this book, being written in the pulp tradition, sit outside that modern mainstream publishing industry, despite the fact that 6 of the 8 authors are currently working authors. Really, the only explicitly young adult thing about these stories is that they tend to have protagonists who are boys in that 10 to 16 age range, and they tend to deal with themes of young men coming of age, although not all of them fit that mold. If I'd have had this book when I was 13, I can tell you right now that I would have devoured it, probably even harder than I actually did in my 30s. So I think if you're a boy or a man from ages 10 to 16 or 26 or 36 or 96, you'll find something to enjoy and appreciate in all 8 of the stories in here. Although they're all good, I'll give the standout prize to the 7th story in the book, A Notched Gun by Walt Coburn, for a unique writing style that works really well and an ending that really packs a punch. If this doesn't strike your fancy, I have more audiobooks in the pipeline that I'm working on. If you are an indie author and you'd like to turn your book into an audiobook, email me at unsung.substack@gmail.com or shoot me a DM over on Substack. The link to that is in the show notes. You'll also find links in the show notes to all the authors and editors of this book and their Substack publications. I hope you'll pick up The Boys' Book of Western Stories, and I'll see you next time on the Unsung Podcast.